Hannah Kitts. Hannah, you are the golden girl. You just gave us our quorum. Atta girl. And Nick Sumter, thank you. All right. And Pamela, I'll let you tell me when we're live. We are live. Great. All right, folks. Well, we're missing a few people today, but we do have a quorum. We have in attendance for Park Board myself, Bob Anderson, Nick Sumner, Greta Gilman, Hannah Kitts, Kevin Brownlee, and I'm hoping that Sally Legato and Rick Chase will join us. Jason Conley is acting on behalf of Garrett Jones today, and Barb Ritchie is absent excused. I'm also hoping that Michael Cathcart, council member, will be joining us at some point. So I think we will go ahead. That is the roll call, and we are live. So we will begin the Thursday, August 12th Spokane Park Board meeting by WebEx. And are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? There's Sally. Terrific, Sally. Thank you. Hearing no additions or deletions, we'll move on to public comment. Nick is still in a meeting. He'll join us actually technically in a few minutes. But we have with us today Andy Boyd, who wrote a wonderful letter, which was appended to the end of your materials there for today's meeting. And it's about Indian Canyon. Andy, you have a few minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I will leave the note to be read, but just to briefly summarize, I think there are opportunities to fundraise for Indian Canyon that could be pursued. So that the work on the master plan could be continued with. And if given the opportunity to talk to who's in charge of the golf program, what I'd like to do is sit down with the individual in charge of the golf program here in Spokane and perhaps Mr. Ferris from Indian Canyon to go over some ideas and perhaps bring them back to the board, some more specifics back to the board.
So, Andy, now two people are beaming. One of them is Park Board member Jerry Sperling, who is chair of the golf committee, and the other Mark Poirier, who is the golf pro, or rather the head guy here for our golf program. So both of them are in attendance, and I'm sure they would love to get in touch with you and talk to you about your ideas. Mark or Jerry, did you want to say anything?
Sure. I'll be happy to, Jennifer. Thanks. And welcome, Andy. I did receive your letter and read through it, and it's always exciting and important, I think, for us to have friends of whatever entity it is that we are involved in here in the Parks and Recreation Department. So in the future, and I did kind of plan ahead here, and I have your email. So via that email, I will be happy to correspond with you shortly. But thank you.
Terrific. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Also, Andy, hey, this is Mark Poyer, golf manager here. Again, I would love to meet with you and talk more about this and your different ideas going forward.
Terrific. I'm glad that it's well received, and I look forward to talking.
You're on mute, Jennifer.
Thank you. Sorry. So I was just going to say we love to partner with interested and passionate citizens. So Andy, your willingness to talk with us and move forward on something like that as we go through our master plan is very well received indeed, and we thank you for your interest. Park Board members, you see in front of you 5 items on the consent agenda. Is there any Park Board member who wishes to remove one of those from the consent agenda to talk about, or shall we go ahead? Your suggestion to change it. I'm going to move the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Seconded. All those in favor of the consent agenda as presented signify by saying aye. Maybe wave your hand too.
Aye.
Looks unanimous with all of our Park Board members. All those opposed? Nobody opposes the consent agenda. Okay, great. We'll move on. Thank you very much. Now, today we have a special guest with us. This is Spokane Youth and Senior Centers Association quarterly update provided by Harlan Henderson, who is the director of Project Joy. Welcome, Harlan.
Thank you so much. If you will bear with me, I will try to do a screen share for the first time in my life. So we'll see if that's it. I guess that's what I do. Maybe. Look at that. Old people can do things. Let's see if I can get it to, there we go. Here we go. Thank you so much for inviting me today to present the update for Cisco. We'll get started here with our slide that shows our numbers for first and second quarter together. And we are excited that numbers are getting bigger as we go through the year. So we're very happy about that. With our senior programs, we'll start with Hilliard Senior Center. They are continuing to provide daily lunches for seniors. They have established fun, collaborated online recreation and social programs with some of the other centers. You'll see the bingo board there. They've been doing bingo with many centers at one point, which has been really great for the seniors being able to do that. They are back providing daily recreation programs and services. Going on to Cento Senior Center, the return of Cento Center's daily exercise and dance activities, June return of Cento Center travel program and special event programs. They hosted a pancake feed that had a wonderful turnout. They are currently looking for some instructors for a riding and history courses. The instructors they had before retired during COVID closures. Corbin Senior Center, they've been focusing on recreation. They brought back all of the activities that their members really love. They started exploring community again with daily tours. They held their yearly golf tournament. You can see some pictures of that there. They continue to promote positive health with our and social dining, and they would like to invite all of you park board members to lunch on any Tuesday to see what this program is and how it helps our senior population. So anytime you've got a free lunchtime on Tuesdays, go up to Corbin and have some lunch. Southside Community Center, they have had some bonsai classes that people have really liked, and they're going to schedule more in September. They are now offering center t-shirts for sale and also giving them as gifts to guests and sponsors. The weddings and receptions are increasing at the center, which is a good thing for the center, obviously. They also had excellent speakers from the Flag Museum on the history of the U.S. flag. Mid-City Concerns. Let's see here. Mid-City opened their doors on June 7th for in-person meal service and social hours on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. They are not charging a membership fee for the remainder of this year to help get people back into the center. With the high temperatures that we have had, and I guess we're going to have some more coming up, they have offered fans to center clients. And this picture here is showing some of those members who came to their opening day. Project Joy. During the second quarter, Project Joy was able to begin some live performances at several venues, and the number of requests are growing every week. We've added 6 new performers to our list of entertainers. We have 35 different performing groups now. Pictured here are 3 of those of the new 6 performers. Senior Serenaders had 4 in-person rehearsals in May, which was really exciting to do. Everybody was wearing masks, and we were distanced, but we were able to get together again, which is what most of them really, really enjoyed, is just being able to have some social interaction. Project Joy is looking forward to being able to present more in-person entertainment to the community. We're hoping that it will continue. Moving on to our youth programs, starting with Northeast Center. Friendship, Fun, and Adventure of Summer Camps is here. They hit the season in style with a Coeur d'Alene boat cruise where kids enjoyed the beauty that surrounds us and made some new friends. They went hiking at Bull and Pitcher and took trips to our beautiful parks for some water fun. They also were able to cool off on hot days by kayaking with outdoor recreation. The center has been busy with 160 kids enrolled in their programs. West Central. During the second quarter, the center's been able to navigate online learning for 40 kids and assisted with their transition back to the classroom. They enjoyed Neighbor Day activities with sports, games, a free dinner, the Spokane Mountain Patrol, and meeting their neighbors. The center provided 20 kids with full sports scholarships in SYSP, Skyhawks, and boxing. Southwest Spokane Community Center. Despite the fact that they did not have funds for field trips like they normally do, they've been making the best of their time. The youth center got a dog that is quite popular with the kids. Half of the time they can't tell if the dog is watching the kids or the kids are watching Bug. They have been going on hikes, going to parks, and exploring the surrounding areas of the center. These outings have given the kids some exercise and has helped them learn the best parts of life, found spending quality time with others instead of being on their electronics. I think we can all agree with that. East Central MLK Community Center. On June 19th, they celebrated Juneteenth with the neighborhood. The center continues to be a vaccination center for people ages 12 and older with the help of WSU and the Spokane Regional Health District. Thank you so much for your continued support of our youth and teen recreational programs and services. We really appreciate your support. It's helped us through this difficult time. I think you can see that we're all working hard to continue offering much needed support to the youth and seniors in our community. Any questions for me? I will try to answer if I can.
Thanks for the question. The performers for Project Joy do things in community charging services, or is that pro bono? Oops, I think we lost the connection. We'll give him a minute here.
I can see you.
There you go. Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay. Yes, we do ask for a donation from the centers that we do go and perform at. Yes.
Okay. All right.
That just helps with some of our operating costs.
Well, sure. Just wondered. And it's great to see all these different programs. I think Cisco is one of the best things that we do. So
I think so too.
In your unbiased opinion?
In my unbiased opinion, exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So Mark Buning, we're on to you with the financial report and budget update.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. Let me share my screen here. I hope so. Here we go. All right. We're presenting the financial report through the month of July and looking at our first screen here in the first slide, we see a comparison of the park fund expenditures through July of this year compared to the 2-year historical budget average. We see that the actuals are very close to the budget, and in fact, the actuals are about 99% of the budget. Actual expenditures are significantly higher this year, last year, and this reflects the opening up of the parks activities and programs and more return to normal. And moving on to our second slide, we see here that we're comparing our year-to-date revenues compared again to the historical budget average. The actual revenues exceed the budget average by about $840,000. And this year's year-to-date total exceeds the 2020 total by almost $1.6 million. This reflects the significantly higher revenues generated in recreation and riverfront but also reflects, to keep in mind, it also reflects the additional $220,000 received from the general fund for the aquatics program. And here in our third graph, this is kind of where the rubber meets the road. We see in this slide a comparison of our year-to-date revenues and our year-to-date expenditures. Revenues exceed expenditures by about $2.6 million. This is an improvement over 2020 at the same point in the year of about $460,000. Last year, our revenues exceeded expenditures by about $1.2 million, and this year about $1.6 million. So any questions about the Parks Fund before we move on to the Golf Fund?
Just a comment. Just a comment that we're very grateful for that percentage from the general fund for the aquatics program. That's something that we were really eager to reopen. So I agree that the smoke is, hindrance, but at the same time, we really appreciated the support. Thank you. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, thank you. One thing I wanted to mention, I meant to mention this right before we started. These July financials reflect some transfers of expenditures for the windstorm. We transferred about $99,000 from Parks Fund to our 1950 fund, and about $26,000 in the Golf Fund and these were related to the windstorm damages. And so we received additional funding to cover some of that, and we have that in a reserve account, and so we transferred those expenditures out of the Parks Fund and the Golf Fund. So anyway, let's move into the Golf Fund. We see here in this slide that the year-to-date expenditures actually exceed the two-year budget by approximately $218,000. This is the pattern we've seen for the last couple of months, and there are actually several reasons for this. First reason is that the two-year expenditure budget is brought down by the lower than normal expenditures that we incurred last year due to the COVID closures and the really tight financial controls that we imposed. This year, the courses have been open all year and very busy, so many of our costs at the golf courses are variable and go up with the number of rounds. And so the significant cost increases over last year have been in temp seasonal, the related benefits, and in services and charges. And the increases in services and charges reflect, much higher utility costs because of the exceptionally dry season we've been having this year. And then there was also some catching up on some deferred maintenance. So that's all reflected in these expenditure patterns. So moving into revenues, we see a good portion or a good reason for a good portion of those higher expenses. Our actual year-to-date revenues exceed the budget average by over $863,000. And compared to last year, our 2021 actual revenues, and keep in mind this does include the facility improvement fee, exceeded 2020 by about $880,000. Now, just looking at the facility improvement fee, the total exceeds the 2020 total by about $166,000, reflecting that the number of rounds and the much busier activity at the golf courses. So moving on to our third slide here with the Golf Fund shows the year-to-date comparison of total revenues to total expenditures. And revenues exceed expenditures by nearly $1.7 billion. The Golf Fund's year-to-date net revenues minus expenditures, exceed the year-to-date 2020 net revenue by about $620,000. So that the Golf Fund is having a very good year this year. So that's very good news. Any questions about the Golf Fund?
No question for me, but I just wanted to say thank you to Mark Poirier, our golf manager, get the title correct, for all of his work and the work of the pros. And thank you to Jerry Sperling for her work on the park board, keeping golf our shining star. It takes a lot of effort, and clearly the results are wonderful. It's an activity the entire family can enjoy. So thank you again.
Very good. Thank you. Now, our last slide reflects the state of the bond fund at the end of July. And we see that we have a remaining balance in the fund after expenditures and encumbrances of about $132,000. So our monthly check-in reflects, and that budget balance gets smaller every month. So we're working towards the completion. So that concludes the financial report. Any questions or comments? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see such good news.
Yes.
All right. So, speaking of good news, we are looking at the rejuvenation of a project that got stalled for a little bit, and Nick Hammett has the update for us on that.
Thanks, Jennifer. Nick Hammett here. I'll just give you a couple of quick visuals and a recap on the Riverfront Park Dog Park renewal. We are in the middle of breathing some new life into this here. This is under the Forestry Pavilion and Riverfront Park, and one of the things you can see right now on your screen is an image from was originally put together for this project a couple of years back. We've done several designs, both of which you can see here, and have not yet come to fruition. We're a little bit over our budget for the area. So we had a great meeting a couple of weeks ago with a number of our park board members and the Parks Foundation to discuss how to reboot this project. Barry and I have been working on some sketching on how this dog park could be worked into a reasonable budget for the community, so we can go back out and secure the funding we need and get this project moving. So while we're sort of in a sketch phase at the moment to reboot this, we just wanted to get in front of you and let you know that we're probably going to be producing here before the next board meeting, certainly, another promotional document similar to what we had prepared for the inclusive playground in West Havermill, of course the Providence playground now, something that shows the values of these dog parks and the value to both the dog, the owner, the community, and make it easier for the fundraising effort to be rekindled, so to speak. So you'll see that coming from us here in the next couple of weeks, but just wanted to get out in front of you and let you know that project is picking back up steam. And if there's interest, we'll certainly engage any park board members or community, to get their feedback incorporated into these boards and this promotional materials here in the next couple of weeks.
Thanks, Nick. So what I would like to request is that as our next step, we reconvene the original Dog Park Committee, which consisted of Bob Anderson, Rick Chase, Kevin Brownlee. I believe there was somebody from the Humane Society. I know their leadership has changed, but extend that invitation to them. Also, maybe extend the invitation to Josh Wade, of course, Terry Fortner, and appropriate members of the Parks Foundation, and get that restarted. I'm glad to see that we are going back to the original plans, because I thought there was a lot of merit in those, and I know there's a lot of interest in the community. I hear about it. I know Bob hears about it. So any other park board members want to pitch in here, but I'm glad to see it's restarting.
We'll make sure and pull something together, and we'll have a document to kind of revisit at that time and really talk about this together and how we refine that and move forward. So I'm glad to hear the interest, and we'll make sure to get everybody together. And if you didn't get your name called or are interested, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll make sure and get you in that group too.
Great. Thank you. Any questions from anybody on that? If not, we will move into our committee reports. So, Urban Forestry Committee, I don't believe that Rick Chase is here today. They did not meet. I know that there has been another RFP that went out to at least get some start on a portion of the trail that was going to commemorate the donation from Nancy McCarroll for her daughter. Is there any update on that, Nick or Barry or anybody?
Still waiting for bids to come in, though we did work with our engineering department, and there is some work that's already happening now, which is the curb ramp work, which allows wheelchairs to get up to where the trail will be. So I think those new curb ramps and little sections of sidewalk are happening, or maybe even done at this point. So we'll pick up here again this fall and get that as far as we can, and hopefully open this fall.
Great. Can we put the signs up, or are they already up, commemorating that donation? I do want to make sure that we thank Nancy McCarroll. It was very generous of her.
I do believe there's some signage in place now, but I will confirm with Angel and make sure that we augment that if needed.
Thank you so very much. The next Urban Forestry Committee meeting, if it happens, will be by WebEx at 4:15 on August 31st. All right. Jerry, golf. Speaking of the Shining Star.
Of course it is. And we're having fun while we're doing it, too. We did meet on August 10th. We did have an action item, which came through on your consent. But for those at home watching, it is just a continuum of what we're striving to do at Indian Canyon in the clubhouse area. So keep tuned. If you're in that area, you can see the progress taking place here shortly. Our main headliner at our meeting was a projection and preliminary presentation by Mark Poirier for our 2022 budget priorities. So we had a lengthy meeting, but very, very worthwhile. And I think right now one of the things I'd like to focus on and maybe end with is something that doesn't really get recognized, and I'm not sure if I ever really heard about it, but I was visiting with Mike Vanderbilt out at Esmeralda and learned of a seasonal, traditional, 25 years going. It's going to be a shotgun start at Esmeralda on August 20th. And this is for golf superintendents, their assistants, and seasonal employees. So I think it's going to be just a really fun tradition that, you know, they weren't able to have it. And also along with that, I haven't seen it yet, but there is a special trophy. So I think the thing that's exciting about it is the fact that these are the people we never see. When we get to the golf course is beautiful, it's green, it's shining, and it offers just a wonderful field of play for everyone. But these are behind the scenes people that it's exciting, and I'm pleased that we're going to get to recognize them for a fun day outing. So with that, that's the conclusion, and we will be meeting again September 7th, and golf meeting starts about 8:05 a.m. Thanks, Jennifer.
Great. Thank you, Jerry. Greta, Land Committee had an interesting meeting.
Yes, that we did. We met on, last Wednesday, and we had one action item, which had to do with conservation futures. We took action on an easement, and on an easement through some park property that will allow conservation futures to purchase some land in the Beacon Hill area. And I believe that Nick has a presentation for the board on this.
Sure do, and happy to share with you this presentation. Of course, with me today is Paul Knowles with Spokane County, who's actually been the primary point of contact negotiating a purchase and sale agreement with the property owner, and James Richmond with City Legal is here as well. I want to take a step back and just remind folks of what the Make Beacon Hill project is. You see this screen. Everything in dark green, or I guess shaded green, is land that the city owns. We have Tamsaconee Park, Esmeralda Golf Course, Minnehaha, and Shields Park, which is a county property. These all together have been separate, but informally are known as Beacon Hill. There's a number of trails that run through this whole space. Of course, last year the park board approved the city and the county, actually 2019, to partner to go after state funding to acquire all the land you see with a diagonal hatch under those parcels. So all of these parcels, except for the Rayner properties, are currently under contract to be purchased by County Conservation Futures. So you see the Beacon Hill property here in blue is what is currently being negotiated between the county and the private property owner. Wanted to show you just how this property relates to the trail system around it. If we zoom in here, you'll see the Rayner property. To the left of it, you see a portion of Esmeralda Golf Course, the upland portion that's undeveloped, and then Minnehaha Park. To the right, you see a number of other lands that are being acquired and are under contract to be acquired. And then you see the Rayner property, which really forms a big link between lands we own as the city and the rest of Beacon Hill. Excuse me. So Beacon Hill is in sort of all of this would be publicly owned within the non-shaded area if this project were successful. Again, you see in blue there how critical the Rayner property is for us to be able to connect from Esmeralda Golf Course trailhead or Minnehaha Park trailhead out to the east, or vice versa. And you see the dark red line here is some major trails, and there's a whole network of single-track bike and hiking trails through this area as well. So the purple line is really diagrammatic here just to say this property is key to connecting everything, and if we don't have it, we can't make that physical connection public. Zooming in just a little bit closer, you see that Rayner property yet again, and you see Esmeralda Golf Course and Minnehaha Park. The easement, which is included in your packet, the language which has not changed since the Land Committee, is shown approximately in orange. That would be an underground sewer easement for a sewer line from the private property to the north and the east, down through our lands to the city sewer main, which is near the Esmeralda Golf Course parking lot. Really, we would be exchanging or offering that sewer easement and a pathway easement for the development of future asphalt pathway from that development down to the golf course and to our park in exchange for, as a part of the purchase and sale agreement of the 29.8, almost 30 acres of land. So really we're talking about exchanging easement across park property for getting 30 acres of parkland at no cost to us. All of the funds used for that purchase would actually be fronted by the County Conservation Futures Program. So one more look at that. On that, we give up the orange, which we retain public use on the surface of that land. So really no impact other than during construction to our users and to the public, and then we get what is in blue there. So this is a portion of a purchase and sale agreement, and the seller has been very clear, and Paul, feel free to chime in, but I think the seller has been quite clear that he's not willing to sell that land to the county without this easement. So it's something he's prepared to walk away from the deal without it. So I think giving up an easement would give us some really great property. Any questions?
Paul, did you want to say anything? You certainly have worked hard on this, and I probably was correct in saying earlier that you probably tore your hair out several times during the process. So,
no, other than I've really enjoyed working with all of you folks on trying to make this whole vision come to reality, and we're this close. This is the last 10% of the project that once we get this in place, we will essentially stitch together all this existing public land with newly acquired public land to create a kind of a regional park vision, a regional park that's over 500 acres in size. So it's a pretty significant addition to the park system in this region. So.
Thank you.
Jennifer, Jerry, I would just like to say thanks again, Paul and Nick and everybody involved, having visited Esmeralda, in a variety of times and situations, but mainly for golf. One of the things that's always shared with me by Rob Sanders, the pro, is the fact that we have a lot of bikers who love absolutely love to be out there on those trails. And I think the other enhancement that I see as a park board member is the fact that that property, when we're not playing golf, needs people. And it really, however we can open that up and enhance that to another activity, if you will, just creates more eyes on the course. And otherwise, and I'm speaking for all of our golf courses, you know, when we're off hours and we just don't have the eyes on those courses like we would like to have. So I just want to just say thank you and just keep going, because wherever we see these kinds of things where we can expand the use and show that the golf course is, I mean, it really is just another one of our beautiful parks. So thank you for all your work.
Very well said. Anybody else?
Good point, Sherry. I would like to move that we approve the easement across public property as part of the Beacon Hill 05-16 Rainier property acquisition.
And I will second that, Retta.
Thanks, Sherry.
For sure.
Moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or questions?
I think it's very exciting. I think this will open up lots of opportunities. I think it's a slam dunk.
Great. Yeah, I agree. I'll call for the question. All in favor, say aye or wait. And
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes unanimously.
Great.
Everybody?
Now we just need a chairlift.
Now you got to ride up the hill.
I hope nobody from Evergreen is tuning into this meeting, Nick.
In addition to discussion of this easement, we also discussed budget priorities. Al provided a presentation, and we'll hear more about that at this meeting today. We got an update from Nick on the park's master plan. He presented some preliminary feedback from the surveys and pop-ups that have been going on, and we will hear more about that in the coming weeks. And Al finally got to give his presentation on the Chief Gary Park natural turf management pilot project. And the purpose of the natural turf management is to reduce synthetic applications in favor of natural alternatives, and also to hopefully cut down on the amount of water being used in the long term. And that was our land meeting. And our next one is on September 1st at 3:30, and it will also be a WebEx meeting.
Thank you, Greta. And thank you, Al, for that important work. I know for the public that reducing pesticides, herbicides, and chemicals is really important for the birds, the bees, and the little feet that run across the grass. So thank you for that. In addition to having golf being a shining star, recreation is a shining star, and I need to give Sally and Jennifer Papich their due. It's so nice to have recreation programs up and running again. And Sally, I'll let you take it away.
Great, thank you. Well, I have to say, we didn't have action items, but we sure have a lot going on in recreation. And I want to thank Jennifer and her whole team for pulling off again another amazing month under really challenging times. Also, Al joined us, and I want to thank Al and Jennifer for working together to start looking at our budget priorities heading into 2022. And the work that they're doing is emphasis on future planning, expanding our community outreach, and some work on asset protection. The two departments that are looking forward to working more closely together, these two departments are working together to increase levels of service address critical facility improvement needs, and continue to look for opportunities to maximize efficiencies. Also, Jennifer and Ryan presented the monthly recreation report, and just again, some amazing stuff going on in spite of all the multiple obstacles with COVID restrictions limiting class capacity, that extreme heat that's now back again, the poor air quality that's back again, and then staffing challenges. And the last item is the shortage of pool chemicals. So the recreation team, in spite of all of this, has remained positive, and they continue to just find ways to navigate the hurdles to provide amazing recreation opportunities to our community. A couple of highlights I want to share with you all is we saw record high numbers in our adult summer softball league and youth NFL flag football league. Recreation summer camps are full to capacity across the board following all the Department of Health safety protocols. And then the podium nears completion, and it's getting ready to open, and we're starting to work with the team over there at Sports Commission for Fall Youth Track program. And then also later this month, the team will start scheduling for spring of 2022 Adult Volleyball League. Also, the outdoor recreation Little Spokane River Shuttle continues to be very successful, and which includes the new kayak rental program. And last, they've had already to date over 111 kayak rentals. The other really hot spot is aquatics, and lap swimmers has tapped just about 3,500 visits, and we've had almost 47,000 open swim visitors to date. Also, I just want to call everybody's attention to look for the fall activity guide to be available online later this month. And it's really great to have the online option here as we can add and subtract things as we go, and that it's not outdated as soon as it's printed. So anyway, again, congratulations to the rec team for all your hard work, and Al and Jennifer for working together to build some really great successes amongst the two departments. Great job, everyone.
Wow, Sally, that's a lot going on. So I think we underestimate how much RIP does, and when they really are able to fully operate, it's pretty amazing. So great job, everybody. Just a tremendous asset to the community to have all those opportunities. Okay, Nick Sumner, Riverfront Park Committee is always interesting.
Definitely. All right, we did meet on August 9th, and we do have a couple action items to discuss. And the first one has to do with the lilac butterfly.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I hope you can see my screen. I'm going to try and start a slideshow for you. So hopefully you have this on your screen now. And in January, of course, we had a failure of our lilac butterfly on the north bank up by the Ice Age Floods playground. This was a failure due to extreme pressure and twisting of the original frame of the butterfly. We had it assessed by some engineers. They found some deficiencies in the welds of the butterfly frame itself. The mast that we installed, the footing in that, that weathered the windstorm just fine, but the original structure was not adequate to handle the winds that it experienced. Anyway, we asked Kaufman Engineers and a specialty outfit known as Guildworks to take a look at our butterfly, and they started from scratch. They started from the initial designs or the inspiration, which was our Expo logo, which unfolded into what appeared to be a butterfly shape. But what we ended up with out there was, on your screen, you can see an image off to the upper right that doesn't quite exactly match the logo. So they started looking at that even more, like as if they were doing it all over again. Some images across the bottom show kind of the progression of how the wings could be arranged in a way to better honor that Expo logo. And then let me see if I can advance here. And then as we went forward with it, kept meshing this with the true butterfly proportions, and then we came up with a form that basically mimics that logo, but yet then we also look back at the original butterflies and we see that they didn't have a bottom edge on these trailing wings on the bottom edges. So we also found that they were free to move in the wind with battens, and that was where we really latched on to that idea and said, can we redo this? Can we do it again? With various modeling techniques by some very talented folks. So we really started looking at reducing the frame and maintaining that Expo shape, but adding the batten wings. And that's a new approach for us. It's similar to the battens used on a sail, which you can see off to the left on the fellow there on a windsurfing board. So here on the right-hand side, you can see pretty much a plan view image of the wings themselves, as we believe is the best solution to rebuild the butterflies and have them fly stable and secure and safely. Some of the proposed structural updates, we don't have the bottom edge like I mentioned. The wings themselves, we would like to tighten up the dihedral, the angle at which the trailing wings on a butterfly are pitched, and that adds a tremendous amount of stability. And then also, you'll see in these images the spine or the main mass that comes down at the wings attached to, that tends to twist and experience tremendous force. So we needed a way to relieve some of that, and we're doing that with are proposing a torsion-type bar, which allows twisting, but then it snaps back to normal. Bolted connections instead of welded connections. Welding aluminum is very difficult, very specialized, and very expensive. So we'd like to bolt these wings together, and they can be easily undone if they ever needed to be serviced. So all of this comes down to also less aluminum bending, reduced wing loading, and then we need to work on the top assembly too, where it pivots side to side and up and down. And then a way for a fail-safe, just in case all things fail, the butterfly doesn't fly off into the distance, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So comparing the frames, new and old, you can see here there's a lot less material. There's less bending. And then we're adding in the center, proposing some additional bracing at the top where those wings join the mast. And it makes it for more compact construction and installation. As we compare and move through some of our designs, we found that the original design was rather wide, especially on the lower wings, and this was causing tremendous instability in our wind tests. We went with our preliminary designs. We tested it, found out it was going to be very bulky in terms of the size of the aluminum tubes in order to hold it together, to keep it from, keep it strong. Of course, that didn't seem to be too feasible, but if we reduce the size just a little bit, by about 15%, we could gain so much more for our money and for the dynamics of the butterfly. Some of the images here are overlays so you can get an idea of the size difference. The green images or frames are the original, of course, and the new are in purple. And so you can see them kind of overlaid so that you get an idea of the different sizes of the two. Also, in the right-hand side, you can see that the upper wings are the wider lines, and then the rear trailing are a little bit tighter in. So they're not at the same angle. The rear would be at a tighter, what we call a dihedral. And then the battens. So as wind comes up and against the butterfly, usually in unusual directions, it'll push the butterfly and the battens start to flex. And that helps relieve a tremendous amount of pressure on the central mast or the spine of the butterfly. But then as well, we still experience a lot of pressure on the spine, and I'll get into that in a little bit more, how we relieve that. But the battens will allow this to move, even in the lightest winds, which will give a little bit more dynamic visual appeal to the butterfly. So as the wings bend and the shaft bends with it, there's a little animation I hope you can see on the right-hand side of your screen where we put a key on the main spine. And as that moves to the side, as it twists, it engages some pre-tension torsion springs and what we call a cam arm. And then that pressure then increases as it rotates. And then that torsion spring, that brings it back to center. So the butterfly can tilt and twist and roll and then be righted yet again. So there's also, we're thinking about maintenance, and that's always a tremendous, an opportunity to mitigate any kind of terrible maintenance. So we created this. What do we call it? I want to call it a sled, but it's where the torsion bars fit into just a very small little device that we unbolt, and we can lift it out. And if it ever needs to be replaced, you just put new torsion bars in there and set it back in. Pretty easy replacement there. And then also, if the butterfly mast itself, the whole thing needs to ever come out, we have a way designed a way that we can just take some bolts off of a cap plate and then a few other little mechanisms and just drop the whole shaft out of the upper assemble. The illustration or animation, I hope it's coming through on your end, shows how that would come apart there. And then that upper assembly also pivots up and down, so we're looking at a different modern day bearings for that are service free. So the torsion bars, they're completely maintenance free. You don't touch those. Maybe a little bit of adjustment once you install it, and then the other bearings too. Maintenance free. No need to get up there and mess with these for many, many, many years. I talked about bolted connections instead of welds, and the illustration on the right shows several locations where we would have bolted connections. And let me show you a little animation here how those go together. So basically 2 or 3 pieces, we just machine those out of aluminum, and then they basically go together and you clamp them together. They hold the wings to the main mast. In the event that we have a catastrophic failure, we attach a lanyard. It's basically just a cable that holds the butterfly to the mast. In the event something catastrophic happens, at least the butterfly doesn't go sailing off into the distance and hurt something or someone. So we want to keep it there. It'd probably be pretty damaged from flying and flipping around, but at least it stays put. It doesn't wind up in our new playground or through the deck of the new podium just north of us there. Installation. What we can do here is we roll up the fabric and then clamp it onto the top of the wing assembly. Then we don't have a wind load on it, and we can just hoist it right up into place, install it, and then unfurl the wings. If we need to ever work on it again, we'll put some anchors into the ground, just concrete blocks in the ground underneath it, and we'll be able to tie it down with some cables. Keep it nice and still, which is tremendously easier to work on than having it getting pushed around in the wind when we put the fabric on it a few years ago. So in the wind studies, and I might be getting too technical for you here, but and stop me if you have any questions along the way, but the original butterfly was experiencing upwards of 4.5 ton of pressure at an angle against the upper mast. And as we start to look at the new designs for the butterfly and then eventually the preferred, you can see we can bring those forces down into the neighborhood of about 2.5 ton, maybe even less, which then helps keep our members smaller, and then we don't have to spend as much money to build them. And then the torsion on the, or twisting of the main spine, this graphic shows colors, and the colors represent an amount of foot-pounds in thousands. So the original butterfly was experiencing 27,000 pounds of twisting force. And of course, with a ton being 2,000 pounds, that's 14 tons about that this thing was experiencing. But with the new designs that we're offering the board to consider, we can reduce those down. They're still very high, at nearly 7 ton, but they're nowhere near what they were. We're reducing that by half. And then the member, what all this translates to is the size of the framing. Instead of having to use large diameter aluminum tubes, which are very difficult to bend, by the way, we can reduce those member sizes, make the butterfly a little lighter, and make it a little bit easier to build and a fair amount cheaper. And the wings, the wing fabric, there have been huge advances made since 1973 when the butterfly was installed, from the original just one color. And one color was great in Expo, but now we have opportunity to explore even further and to look at other designs and other organic shapes and be able to really bring the butterfly into the next generation. We could have design competitions. A 5-year-old could probably draw one, and it might be your favorite. And then we can create that and apply it to not only this butterfly, but others. So here's some other views of how the butterfly may appear if it's a solid color or a two-tone, or maybe we go multicolor. It all comes down to what does the public really want to see? And then moving forward, the next thing is to, if you approve, the next step is to do some actual working drawings so that someone can fabricate the butterfly. So it would be several items, details here. I won't read you through all these list of items, but and then do some planning, send it out to bid, get some good solid bids, and then move forward with construction. Some of the budget to this, I'm going to point you over to the right-hand side. We have a list of items that need to be considered for bid, and we have kind of a low and a high range that those come in. They're looking pretty steep, but still, I think we can tighten this up a little bit more. But we're facing anywhere from 94,000 to maybe 160 if things got really super complicated. I'd like to steer our design team, of course, to the lower end and really engineer this to be just enough to make sure that it's safe and beautiful and wonderful without going overboard with giving a lot of contractors our money. And then if we were able to do 2 butterflies at the same time, we could get the second butterfly for even just a few, $20,000 or so dollars more, because all it adds to it is a mast and a foundation. And then if you're going to do 2 at the same time, you get a you get a scale of budget. You scale your budget so they can fabricate 2 much cheaper than doing 1 and then doing another one a couple of years later. Maybe the board wants to do 3. Anyway, in summary, basically we want to ask the board for their approval of this design and let us know if Parks is headed in the right direction. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to answer them. And if I do get your approval, I would love to be able to negotiate the next phase of this contract to go into final drawings and offer you something beautiful in the near future.
Awesome. Thank you, Barry. Do you guys have questions?
I have just a comment. A lot of people think that the original design of the Butterfly Fort Expo was the one with the rods all the way around the wing, because that's what looks like the logo with its black border around the colors. But if in fact you go to the flour mill, and I was there this morning, and you look at the photos on the wall, there's one from 1974 and then one from 1984. The 1984 shows the rods all the way around the wing. But if you go back to the 1974 actual photo of Expo, there are no bottom rods on the bottom parts of those wings. They are free to flap, just as Barry is describing. So I don't know why, somewhere between 74 and 84, those rods got added to the bottom of the wing, but that's not actually historically accurate. They are, as Barry described, supposed to be free to fly and flutter, and that makes them much more able to withstand wind stress.
Yes.
Any other thoughts, questions?
Oh, I would just like to offer from the Riverfront Park Committee, Barry, just thanks for all your efforts. This is a great presentation, and it answers all questions I think that anyone in the public realm would maybe bring forth to us. I don't think you've left a thing out. And I think also it's an excellent way of showing that we can move this on into the future with change, with something a little bit different. And I think we talked about it during committee, Nick, that we also saw a picture of we could do some really phenomenal landscaping around each one of these instead of having them just sit out in the concrete. You know, it could just offer some really fun things of exploration as well. So anyway, my kudos to you, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, some of the thoughts that were brought up was a pollinator garden, butterfly garden, some different, I mean, there's all sorts of options. So, yeah, very cool. All right, so I would like to make a motion to approve Kaufman Engineers design development as Barry presented it and allow Parks to negotiate a contract addendum for final design. Is there a second?
Well, if nobody's out there, I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any final question or comment? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, Barry, for presenting that. I really appreciate that. All right, we have a second action item for Barry to go over, and that has to do with the Veterans Memorial statue renovation.
Thank you, Nick. Just open this up a little bigger on my screen. And I'll scroll down. This is a site plan of Riverfront Park. Some of these highlighted areas are our existing structures, like the U.S. Pavilion here, our forestry shelter, but our Vietnam Memorial is kind of in this little hidden spot over northwest of the Lilac Bowl. And the Veterans Group and actually our past administration mayor was instrumental in raising funds to renovate this area. And I think we've gotten over $34,000 in donations just to renovate this interesting memorial. And I think hopefully, if my images are coming through, you should be seeing some images of the memorial as it is today. And it's kind of shady spot. It features this young soldier looking off into the distance, and he's kind of in a state of contemplation. At the base is a granite polygon that has sloped granite sides that have the name of our fallen heroes that have passed on either during the conflict or after. And so they're etched into this piece of granite as well. The fellow himself is sitting on a basalt column, which is very fitting for Spokane, of course. And we're honoring the vets, the Vietnam vets that were from Spokane. Anyway, I'd like to leave the actual sculpture alone. They don't want it touched, and it doesn't need to be touched. But the granite that's at the bottom of it has been seeing some wear, and we need to fix a few cracks there, shine it up a little bit, and unfortunately, we have to add a few names. As well, the Vietnam vets asked if we could expand some of the plaza space around it, make some other upgrades, including adding a little bit of lighting. So Nick Hamad and I worked with them and came up with a design and set that out to bid, and I'll show you that here in just a sec. So that spot in Riverfront Park, here is the memorial right in the center of the page, and it just basically shows a little bit of expanded concrete around the flat work there that would match the existing exposed aggregate. And then all this white that comes off or leads to the memorial is also an exposed aggregate pathway. And so the vets asked if we could improve the pathway that goes to it from the staircase, and then also that attaches into our existing asphalt path that is between the U.S. Pavilion and our forestry shelter. They loved this. This was enough for them. They felt it was fine, but they also thought that maybe it can be improved even further. And so we drew up some alternates. This is an illustration of some of the signage also, but we drew up some alternates that basically expanded the space a little bit and opened it up toward the east, or the lilac bowl. And if we color it up a little bit, you can see that it starts to take on a new life of itself. The plaza becomes a little bit larger. We have some bollards and some benches there. But what you may not be able to get is on this eastern edge, and that's where the real what we like to call the pop and sizzle is. And let me show you a little bit about that right here. I'll zoom in just briefly. If we could find the money, I sure hope we can. This plaza space and this alternate portion here would be overlooking with a decorative iron railing. And it'd be overlooking the lilac bowl. We'd also, you see some discs there on the railing that would represent the different service branches. And then we're also showing 3 flagpoles that would be out there to have, of course, the American flag, the state of Washington, where these vets are from, and then, of course, our prisoners of war flag as well. But the vets, we shared this with them again, and we talked all through it. They love it. Unfortunately, at this time, I don't think we quite have the money to go for this particular portion of the job. So we asked we asked contractors to bid on the job. Base bid came in at $49,000, almost $50,000, which is right on our target mark. And then the wayfinding signs came in at $6,200, which makes without the alternate of the added scope, brings us to about $56,198.30. That's what we would ask the park board to approve. And I know that Garrett and there might be a few others on the park board that may be able to help us find some funds maybe for the larger scope, which Garco said they would be happy to do. Here's a copy of the invitation to bid that shows the bid numbers, including tax. The contractors are well known to us. Garco's done great jobs for us in the past. They're working for us on the North Suspension Bridge now. Clearwater Summit's done fantastic landscaping in the park, and so has Power City, being on our pavilion and our promenades and other things. So with that, I humbly ask the board to approve contract with Garco Construction, the base bid and alternate number 2, which is the wayfinding signs, in the amount of $56,198.30 to come from various budgets, including the donations, the bond, and just a couple $1,000 from the park fund. Any questions?
Barry, I wanted to make a comment that the additional improvements would cost that $52,668 on the sheet there.
Yes, they would. They are, yeah, $52,668, including tax.
Right, and then maybe an additional wayfinding sign. I've had one veteran contact me about wanting to tell more of the story of that sculpture and how it got there, talking about the Gold Star mothers who really wanted that statue there, and what kind of impetus there was behind that originally. That's an important story to tell, and I believe that we've already had one donation toward the bigger picture, the additional alternate one. I would like to put in a pitch for us to find the additional money. I think we can never thank veterans enough for what they do, and that we need to make this the best Veterans Memorial we can to respect what they have done. So I would like us to all push, whether it's talking to friends, talking to other veterans, people that you know, let's find that extra money and get this done right.
That would be really fantastic. Garco said that they would hold the bid for, up to 60 days, although we want to get the job done before Veterans Day. So we need to move rather quickly, but I think it's definitely feasible to get it all done.
Yeah, I echo Jennifer's sentiments. Yeah, to be able to do the whole thing would be amazing, and they deserve the whole thing, the whole project. So, any other questions or comments? All right, I would like to make a motion to approve the Garco Construction bid for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial renovation in the amount of $56,198.30, including tax.
I'll second.
All right, we have
a lot of seconds.
Awesome, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further question or comment? All right, hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, Barry. Really appreciate all that you do for Riverfront, and nice job.
Thank you.
We had a third action item, but that went through the consent agenda. We had Danielle present a budget update, and 98% of the bond funds have been paid out to date, which is awesome. Nick already did the North Bank Dog Park update, which he presented to us in Riverfront Park, and Jason, in place of John Moog, presented a preliminary 2022 budget for Riverfront Park. It was a great meeting, lots of good discussion, and due to Labor Day, our next Riverfront Park Committee meeting will be on Thursday, September 2nd at 4 p.m.
Thank you, Nick. All right. Mr. Anderson, I presume. Finance Committee.
I believe so. The Finance Committee did meet on Tuesday, August 10th at 3 p.m. We had 2 action items, and Mark, I believe, is going to take us through the first one regarding the budget calendar and priorities.
All right, I will attempt to do such. Let me share my screen. Let's see here. Here we go. All right. First thing I will share will be the proposed budget calendar. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Now everybody can see the calendar? All right. So initially, whether we like it or not, budget time is here for 2022, and we're getting a little bit later start. We've got some of our information, some of our budget numbers and information a little bit later. So it's a little bit of a compressed process this year. So anyway, what we distributed to the Finance Committee was the initial budget. The initial budget that we have is basically a updating of some of our on-board or on-staff salaries, some 2022 benefit assumptions, and some assumptions for our central service charges. So what we have present right now is in August, I think a lot of the committees have already seen that initial budget. So what we will do for the rest of August is, include to take some request any if you have any questions, additional clarifications, information, and then what we will do in the Parks Division or Parks Department is we will develop the requested budget during the month of August in the budget system. So we will try to get as many numbers as we can into that system, which we have until the 20th to do that. Now, the individual committees will review the budget, and then they would, in any discussion items or recommendations, they would forward to the Finance Committee for consideration by September 7th, the Finance Committee meeting for next month. There will be continued budget refinements and discussions through the month of September as we analyze our different proposals and look at different interests and priorities of the Park Board. By September 7th, the Finance Committee will forward a recommended 2022 budget to the Park Board, and the Park Board will hear any public comments or any other input. Of course, there'll be time for additional discussion. And then by October, we would like to have something pretty well wrapped up. So the Finance Committee would recommend or forward the 2022 budget proposal to the Park Board, and the Park Board would adopt the budget on October 12th. Now, I would stress that because of the timing of the city budget process, there may be some additional changes in the budget between the Park Board adoption and then the city will it'll be rolled into the city budget. The city budget will transmit to this council, and they're looking at an adoption by the council in late November. A couple years past, the budget has not been adopted till December, and we usually do a presentation in Finance Committee showing any changes between the Park Board adopted and the final adopted budget by the city. So it is a little bit compressed schedule this month, or a little bit. We typically have information in July, but other than that, the budget is pretty well on the same schedule as past years. Are there any questions or comments about that? Okay, that sounds great. The budget priorities, there's a sheet in your packet that was presented that goes into a little bit more detail. I will just hit some of the high points of some of our budget priorities that we're looking at this year. Besides we need to increase the budget for some of our mandatory expenses. We need to review utility accounts, the increasing cost of temp seasonal. Those are costs that we really have very little control over, and we'll need to update the budget to reflect that. We're looking at continuing our fleet pilot program in 2022. That's been very successful, and we would like to carry that into the next phase. And we also want to continue to fund our computer replacement, as many of our computers and computer peripherals in the department are getting a little long in the tooth. one priority is we want to look at a new position that would be an inclusion specialist, to look at the concept of inclusion across the department, a volunteer coordinator, and also a grant writer. So those are big shoes to fill, but that we're looking at a job description that would assist the department, would be an administrative position that would assist the department or all areas of the department. The biggest focus, I think, this year will be on park operations. We want to be review park operations, and we want park operations to be more inclusive of responsibilities. Perhaps considering a title change to take in better the inclusion of natural resources and horticulture. We want to centralize maintenance work basically under one maintenance operations umbrella. We want to continue to move employees and resources to appropriate areas, including taking on the responsibility of the sports complexes. Now, a lot of our changes that we're looking at really are organizational changes and will not have a significant impact on the bottom line expenses. We are looking at some additional positions within park operations to facilitate those goals I just outlined, that I just mentioned. We want to also continue to share additional full-time staff resources with Riverfront Park during the winter season. So basically, we want to be able to capture some of the economies of scale in park operations to benefit the whole department. In park operations as well as in recreation, we have to prepare for some retirement of key positions. And segueing into recreation, we want to create we want to consider a succession plan in recreation. We want to tie in recreation activities more with the inclusion and to get more inclusive programming, consistent volunteer policies and protocols. And we're looking at beefing our field allocation program. That is a very, very popular program, very high demand. We feel that there could be some revenue generation from that area. And let's see, briefly mention Riverfront, mainly filling vacancies, reviewing their operations. And then in marketing and communications, we want to look at a sponsorship plan rollout, increasing emphasis on volunteer recruitment, growth and support of friends subgroups, and also support of some reservations and assisting operations and the ability to do that at some of our parks facilities. Jason, is there anything that I missed? Any major thing that I missed, or anything that you would like to add to that?
Mark, I don't think so. I think, this report here to the board is at a real high level. I would encourage all board members to work through the various committee leads, staff leads. If you have specific questions in a specific area, whether it be Jen or John or Al, I think they'd probably have the most detail. Again, this is the beginning of the process. It's far from the end. These are staff priorities, but they are certainly open for discussion and compromise and evolution as well. So well done, Mark. Thank you for pinch hitting for Garrett today. And, we're excited. I think what I want to share with the board is that this just shows that just because we've had a good year doesn't mean we just stop and copy and paste and do what we've done before. We're always challenging ourselves to get better, to get more efficient, to stretch our dollars. And you'll see through these priorities, that's exactly what we're preparing to do for 2022, whether we do some of them or all of them.
Thank you, Jason. Any questions or comments on these two items?
This is Bob. Would you mind touching on the shifting of some dollars from temporary workers to full-time classified or full-time positions? I know there was some really good logic to that change, and I think it would be nice to make people aware of the thoughts behind it.
Okay, and let me briefly go over my thoughts. Jason, please feel free to chime in. As we all are aware, the cost of temp seasonal labor is going up significantly. We're looking at, we're basically projecting, 4 to 4.5% increase in the base labor costs for temp seasonal for next year. I believe in a lot of situations it is cost effective to look at potentially permanent staff to replace temp seasonal labor. And again, every situation is going to be is a little bit different. Every situation has to be evaluated on that basis. But frequently, the benefits that you derive from a continuity of staffing, a built-up history, a knowledge of job base, and the understanding of operations that come with somebody being there on a daily basis yields great benefits in operational savings and efficiencies. Again, temp seasonal is great. And we depend on it. We use it very heavily because of its flexibility, and of course we have a very seasonal type of operation in most of all of our operations. But there are certain key areas where I think it is worthwhile, evaluating whether that increasing cost of temp seasonal labor. In many situations, the increasing cost of temp seasonal labor approaches that of a permanent FTE. And in those cases, some of those intangibles that you gain from the continuity and the history and is worth foregoing temp seasonal. Again, this is an ongoing process. We do it. We look at all of our major areas, and obviously, in some situations it doesn't make sense to do that, but I think there may be key areas in the department where it is worth doing that. So, I don't know. How's that? Do you have any additional to add, Jason?
Mark, I think you touched on it. I know, Bob, you asked the question earlier this week, and we'll do our best to try to come back to you soon with a reply about what is the total cost of an employee, meaning you hire a temp seasonal, there's an onboarding cost, there's a ramp-up cost, there's the hourly wage, there's a little bit of sick leave that we're paying into now. Potentially, this employee works their 960 hours and would have worked longer, but we're regulated on how long we can hang on to our temp seasonals. So then we might pay some unemployment, in the off season, and we'll do our best to try to quantify that for you. It's a little tricky because not every employee has that complete, I'll call it, career life cycle throughout the year. As you know, we have several employees that want to work for us just for the summer. They're back from college, or they're getting ready to go to college, and they're looking for a true summer job, and they have no interest in filing unemployment. They just wanted a summer job to earn some money for school. So that's where it gets a little tricky. There's a category of employee that I personally, and I think others on the meeting today would love to have, and that's what we don't currently have, as a kind of a permanent part-time employee. That does not currently exist in the city. We have employees that are funded at citywide less than a 1.0 full-time employee, but they work year-round. They just work less hours per week. And I think what we would like to find is a solution very similar to what school districts have, where we would have employees that may work 9 or 10 months full-time and then be somewhat furloughed through those winter months, but their pay is spread throughout the entire year, prorated, if you will, almost held in an escrow account. As a city, we're not currently set up to do that, and I'm doing some legwork myself along with our HR department to see if we can get there. Our preliminary discussions, at least with Local 270, they would love to have that option for some employees because they recognize the seasonality of our work. But that's an overarching goal, and I can't even promise we'll have that in place by the 2022 budget, but it's certainly a lofty goal and a personal goal of mine to see if we can get there.
Thank you both for a very explicit explanation. And I certainly have full confidence you'll come up with the right balance between the, shifting of the funds. Any other comments, questions? If not, I will make a motion that we approve the proposed 2022 Parks and Rec Division budget calendar and budget priorities as presented.
I'll second.
Thanks, Greta. Anything else to add? Any comments? If not, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor respond with aye or raise your hand.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed? That passed unanimously. Again, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Finance did have one other action item, and that was to approve the Spokane Investment Pool third installment resolution for golf and capital improvements. And basically that's the SIP loan, and since the first two installments were approved at prior meetings, this was approved by Finance and submitted as part of the consent agenda, which was passed earlier. So also at Finance, Mark Bunig presented the July financial recap reports, and the positive trend of revenue generation offsetting expense increases has continued. Capital improvement projects have shown increased activity during 2021, with the North Suspension Bridge having over $1.5 million expended or encumbered. Liberty Park tennis courts from the Library Fund and Cannon Logan Parks from the ARP include significant 2021 contributions. The next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for September 7th at 3 p.m. via WebEx.
Thank you, Bob. And you might as well go ahead with the Development and Volunteer Committee since you have the floor.
All right. We have an action item also for the Development Volunteer Committee. And Fiona is going to help me with the presentation of this.
You bet, Bob.
Thanks, Fiona.
Share my screen here. Does everyone see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So what we're going to focus on today, as Bob introduced, is a Citizen Advisory Committee structure, appointments, and terms. And this is a subcommittee of the Development and Volunteer Committee. And if you aren't tired of the word committee yet, I promise you will be by the end of the presentation. We'll try and keep it as clear as we can. I'm going to first start with just a couple of slides as a quick refresher, because it's been a couple of months since we've talked about the Development and Volunteer Committee structure. So back in April, the Park Board approved the Development and Volunteer Committee structure as a new committee of the Park Board. We identified our goals, again, just to guide and support our capital and programming fundraising priorities, to serve as an umbrella group over those friends of groups, and then foster their growth and creation as well. And so the Development and Volunteer Committee is a special committee of the Park Board. It operates much like the Joint Arts in terms of having both a flow of information and a structure. So the information you'll see here in blue, it will always flow through a regular committee of the Park Board before it gets to Park Board. And it's also comprised of partial non-Park Board members, unlike our standing committees. So half Park Board and half non-Park Board members. Of those non-Park Board members, you approved a structure that looks like 3 business and community members, and then 1 representative from what we call the Citizens Advisory Committee of the DVC. And that's really what we're here to talk about today. So that was just kind of a quick refresher. what we're here to look at today is the structure of this red box, the CAC of the DVC. And fortunately, we have a really great model to follow. Our Urban Forestry Citizens Advisory Committee here in blue also functions as a CAC. And they, again, have a great structure that we're able to replicate with our DVC. So this is a part of your packet. And really, just to break it down quickly, these first two rows are the Urban Forestry Tree Committee and the Urban Forestry CAC. And so what we did with these second two rows is model much of that same format, our Development and Volunteer Committee, and then the CAC of the Development and Volunteer Committee. And rather than ask you to read point 1 font on your screen, we'll kind of dive into what this looks like. The DVC is recommending a structure for the Citizens Advisory Committee that looks like this. A membership would consist of up to 12 members, including 5 members from the Friends of groups. And then it's a little flexible, but the idea would be 1 from Community Assembly, which is a roll-up of all the neighborhood council representatives, 2 from different volunteer focus groups, 2 business leaders, and then 2 partner organizations, from which we have many. In terms of appointments, the DVC would make appointment recommendations to the CAC for their consideration, and then each appointment, if the CAC agreed, would be formalized by a letter from Garrett. The terms of membership for the CAC, members would serve staggered 2-year terms. The first terms, some people might have only 1 year because we would want to stagger those so there wouldn't be a huge turnover every 2 years. And then those term limitations, people may serve up to 2 consecutive terms, so a maximum of 4 years. And in terms of selecting a chair, the committee would elect its own chair. And its rules would be also devised by that CAC committee, consistent with 4.01 of the Spokane Municipal Code, which is fairly high-level rules. And again, the Urban Forestry Committee, CAC, has done a great job, so another model to go from there. I'm happy to turn it back over to Bob to answer any questions. And again, this is in your packet for a little bit easier reading. Oh, Bob, I think you're muted.
Bob, you're muted.
I was muted. Thank you. Thanks again, Fiona. I appreciate the presentation, and I feel I have a better understanding of all that we've been talking about for the last 5 or 6 months. Questions, comments on the presentation? And what we're looking at today is to approve the DVC, the CAC structure matrix as presented. So basically we're looking to approve the presentation that Fiona has shown us, including the number of terms, the composition, and how the members are selected. Certainly any comments, questions, we would appreciate those.
Well, Bob, it's me, Jerry, and to you too, Fiona. I would just like to say as Jennifer and I can relate, we've come from a real grassroots beginning here. And I think that all of the things that we have strived to put together, you, Fiona, have understood very well. And I think this outline now gives us a springboard to move forward. And I truly appreciate all your coordination, your intertwining of things that already exist, so that in some respect we are not really reinventing the wheel. We're just striving to carry on and extend what it is we want to do. I think greatly supporting all the parks and every entity that we have involved. So again, thanks so much.
Thanks, Jerry. And this is thanks to Pamela. She has created a great, clear structure, and we could not have done this without her. This is all her work.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because Pamela always wants to hide in the background. So anyway, I think every time we get a chance to do that, it's kind of like, yeah.
Agreed.
Anything else? I know I am in the process of meeting with a member of the neighborhood council or neighborhood assembly. So, and the thought there, certainly get their thoughts on it and get them to recommend a member or perhaps two members. We'll see how that goes. So anything else? If not, I will move that we approve the DVC CAC structure matrix as presented.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Jerry. Any other comments?
I just want to say thank you to Bob and Jerry, Pamela and Fiona for all of your work on this.
Especially Pamela.
She
pulls us out of the fire many times. All right, then I will call for the vote to approve the DC CAC structure matrix as presented. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, that passed unanimously, and thank you all for your help. So the DVC did meet twice. We met on July 16th in kind of a pre-meeting to discuss what we wanted to talk about on the August 2nd meeting. On August 2nd, we focused on the Citizens Advisory Committee, the CAC structure as you just approved. We talked about recruitment strategies and discussed plans to develop those strategies. The other major item we talked about was the Friends of Riverfront Park, as all three of these are still tied together. We talked about an event planning group. That was a strong suggestion with the direction to help with upcoming events, such as the Jerry Quinn Clock Tower recognition, the King Cole celebration, and the 50th anniversary of Expo. So we're finding certainly big projects that the Friends could get involved in. And again, Pamela has an excellent summary of the discussions in the DVC minutes, and I would suggest it would be better to read through that than to have me try to go through the rest of it. So again, thank you, and the next DVC meeting is scheduled for September 27th at 3:30.
Thank you, Bob. So my comments are, one, to my fellow park board members, not to forget the park board retreat on September 29th. Mark your calendars. It's from 11:30 to 4. The rest of my comments are for the public, and that is to say that your park is what you make it. And we have a survey out. I believe the time for the survey has been extended, hasn't it, Fiona? Another 2 weeks, I think?
The survey will close this coming Monday. It was extended 1 week, so it will close 10 p.m. this Monday.
Thank you, ma'am. And so that's an opportunity to let your park board know what we do next. I think we have shown through the Riverfront Park update that we take your comments into account. We want to do the best job we can for you, but we need your input in order to know what you want us to do. So that survey is really important. Secondly, give us your constructive comments on the butterfly design. Let us know what you think, what color scheme you want, and let me tell you again, it will be much less expensive to put up 2 now than 1 later. So if you have the capacity or know somebody who could donate toward that effort, I know that Terry Fortner and the foundation are taking donations for the second butterfly. Let's make that happen and get it done when it's so much more economically feasible and a better use of everybody's money. Thirdly, the veterans deserve our support and the best monument we can give them. We are actually very close to our larger plan for the veterans. So if you know of some people who could donate either their time and talent to help us find donors, or if you could send in a little something, let's get there. Let's do the right thing by our veterans. So I wanted to thank everybody for your time today. I'm going to ask Greta Gilman to speak to us a little bit about Conservation Futures.
Yes, so the Conservation Futures nomination period ended on July 31st. So now we are in the process of finalizing the nominated properties to be evaluated. and there will be staff from county parks will visit the properties, and there'll be a public meeting, and there will be some tours for land evaluation committee members, and there will be a preliminary rank list by September 29th. And I can tell you that only 8 properties were nominated this year, which is quite a few less than normal, perhaps due to the increasing values of property that we've been experiencing. And I believe 2 of those properties are in are in or near City of Spokane and would be taken over by the city if they're selected. I hope to have more information next week or next month with some more of the details on these properties. And that's my report.
Thank you, Greta. Barb Ritchie was not able to be with us today, but Terry Fortner is here. Did you want to say anything, Terry, from the foundation?
Sure. Thanks, Jennifer. Hi, everybody, and hello, especially to our community members who are tuning in. Just a couple of really quick updates. We've talked over the last couple of months about the lifeguard certification and recertification, and so we were just putting together the final numbers, but it looks like we were able to scholarship 89 individuals for full lifeguard certification and 19 individuals for recertification just for the city of Spokane. And those numbers for certifications countywide were 174, and the recertifications were 25. So with a great debt of gratitude to all of our donors and community members who sent checks and realized the importance of the municipalities throughout Spokane County needing to open these aquatics facilities, and understanding also the kind of behind the 8 ball part of not having qualified staff. So we're really thrilled to be able to report that. And just really quickly, for people who are interested, nonprofit organizations in the community who are interested in seeking grant funds from Spokane Parks Foundation, the letter of inquiry information, kind of that criteria, has been updated on our website. So SpokaneParksFoundation.org /grant, and it's just right there on the landing page. And as always, people can feel free to reach out to me directly, Terry at SpokaneParksFoundation.org, or give me a call on my mobile phone also. More than happy to help people submit those LOIs. That's the first step in the process for the possibility of being invited for a grant. Additionally, mark your calendars. October 7th is our 70th birthday bash. We think we look really, really good for 70 at this point in our lives. It will be a virtual gala. We've taken lots of polls, and we were just discovering people are not incredibly comfortable having a large public gathering at this point. So we're hoping that perhaps next year and moving into the future, we'll have an opportunity to have a great, huge, enormous, wonderful campaign wrap-up event at Riverfront Park to celebrate all of those successes. And then the other piece, too, that I wanted to share, we had kind of a really neat thing happen last week. Women Helping Women funded their pop-up grants, and they awarded us $500. And with that, they actually purchased additional personal flotation devices, PFDs. We no longer call them life jackets, as everyone's aware. And so one of the things that occurred was we reached out to all of our Drowning Prevention Coalition members and said, oh my gosh, we now have 40 life vests, these PFDs in our possession, and who needs them? And the really cool thing happened. Ryan Griffith got a hold of me, and he said, I could sure use those for the kayaking and paddle program. And I thought, here we go again. This is an area that we've never really, dived into. We just don't do that. And so it got us really thinking strategically about how we can really fully utilize those Make It Splash funds on an annual basis. So, you know, it will be something like purchasing PFDs for all those recreational water programs. And this is independent of the grant process, because these are restricted dollars for drowning prevention and Make It Splash in a kid's life. So it was just really exciting. And I, you know, of course, it was a little field trip for me. I got to actually get out of my home office and deliver something to the park ops and see another human being for a little bit. It was kind of fun. So unless there are any questions, that's kind of it in a nutshell. We did not have a regular board meeting in July. We are looking forward to gathering on August 25th. And I know that Barb is not in this meeting today, but we absolutely have so much appreciation for her skills and who she is as a liaison between the Park Board and the Spokane Parks Foundation. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Terry. I do not see Councilmember Cathcart on this call, so we will move straight on to Jason Conley. Unmute, Jason.
Dang it, I thought I did. Hey, sorry, I sat here all day waiting for this moment, and I fumbled the ball. In the essence of time, I'll be brief, but as the summer's winding up and we're ramping up, you know, some of our summer programming and rec activities, and including pool season is winding down already. It's hard to believe we just started it up, and it feels like, and here it goes. But with that breath, I'll also mention in some other way, we're just getting started. And that means things like our paid concert series that we've been waiting patiently for over a year at Riverfront Park starts tomorrow, Concert Friday, and another one on Sunday. Still seats available for anyone that has those artists in your bucket list to see. Pig Out in the Park will follow suit later this month, and again, thanks to a couple of you on this meeting today that helped bring the Spokane Symphony to play at Pig Out to close up the Labor Day, which I think is going to be incredible in the pavilion. I want to say thanks to our staff that continue to stand up the cooling center at the carousel or Sky Ribbon as needed anytime the temperature creeps up over 95. It's open today. The City Golf Championship is later is the end of the month. We have a 3-day tournament to showcase many of our courses, and we're still taking enrollment there. So again, we've got lots of big things that are still coming. And, you know, for those that, you know, maybe they haven't quite got all their passion out for parks, we still have a lot of big things coming later this month and even into the fall. So with that, I want to say thanks, and in community, we look forward to hosting you in the next 60 days.
Thank you, Jason. All right. Is there anything else? I know this meeting has gone long today. We've had a lot to do. Hearing nothing else, I actually have another church meeting to go to, so I will be signing off. But thank you all for your time. Thank you for your good work today, your good input. And I think we got a lot of good things done, and I have a lot of good things on the docket. So I look forward to working with all of you as we go through all this. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.